I'm here with Marc Graindourze at Agfa at the Decorative Surfaces Conference in Munich, and Marc is part of the program. Marc, give us a bit of a snapshot really about the decorative surfaces market and the kind of talks that we heard this morning around the growth potential or not within the sector. Give us a bit of a background.
So the conference always starts with a bit of a marketing update. Market evolving, Europe, other regions, and of course the 2021 big time of COVID when people were not traveling but refurbishing their house is not coming back soon. So there is some time needed to recover to that pace of people refurbishing new house building, but for the next 5 years there is definitely a growth, and so it will pick up gradually starting this year. Of course, what is more interesting for us is how much will the digital printing take part of the total consumption. And that is, of course, not very visible in those overall market data. But when you look to the conference, which I've been now for several years in a row, it's clear that digital is there to stay. It's a question of how it is used, how it's integrated, how it's used at its best. Robert Bierfreund gave good examples of that, how to rethink how you do your operations. Not doing digital in a traditional workflow, but adapt the full workflow. That's for me the message he gave. And that's where companies can be cooperating. And that's the key element. You don't need only a good printer, a good ink, but you also need measurement tools, color management, skilled operators. That together can bring the solution that even for growing run lengths, inkjet becomes more profitable in fact than gravure printing. And that's what is of interest.
Yeah, and Marc, that kind of collaborative piece is coming through strong and clear in terms of the industry perhaps adopting more innovative mindsets, because it seems also that regulation is a big problem in Europe. It's one of the things that is always seen as a positive because that sets the tone for things, but it seems that maybe this sector is waiting for regulation to take hold in order to change. Is that something you agree with?
Partly, yes. On the other hand, it creates some uncertainties about the usage of current solutions today. What we have been trying to focus on with digital printing is to fit it in to replace gravure and keep all the other parts of the process the same. That's the fastest way to integrate and lower investment of the parts of impregnation and lamination processes. And I still believe that's the right process. Of course, there are some questions around that future of the full process chain. But what is important to me is cooperation, and we see that the bigger companies, they do it by cooperation. And do not forget DIPA. Agfa is also a member of DIPA, and we will also have that in a talk later today, showing the cooperation, showing what it can bring for a producer to use the cooperation in a good way. He doesn't have to reinvent the hot water. It's being done. The connection between the technology parts is being done, and he can profit from it in his own workflow.
Okay, thanks Marc. Looking forward to your talk later, or your panel later, and thanks for joining us again today.
You're welcome.